everyone. Welcome back to Ignis Umbra's Lens Flare, the podcast where we talk about how to do photo shoots, how to do photography, videography, from the perspective of either from behind the camera or like our friend Rikki here, who's joining us in front of the camera. So today, Rikki is joining us to talk about what I call the bonfire photo shoot. This is a photo shoot where we went out to Indian Springs and we set up a bonfire and we did some really cool photography with kind of, in general, it was kind of meant to be like a druid, Celtic kind of vibe. But then also because one of our models brought her, at the time, fiance, it was also Avatar.
What you can get in while you can, right?
Well, you know, he was like, I can do fire bending. Why not?
At a bonfire.
And he got great photos out of it. So, I mean, hey, I don't mind somebody crashing my photo shoot.
We love him anyway because he's ridiculous.
I feel like we always crash your photo shoots.
So that's actually fair. We don't do introductions. But actually, I'm Richard Mathis, and I'm the photographer and videographer for Ignis Umbra. And Kat
Hi.
is, she acts in a assistant director or...
Jack of all trades.
Yeah, jack of all trades. She's behind the scenes, keeping us on point, keeping us
on schedule.
On schedule. Yeah.
Hey, what are you doing? I need you. Come, do the thing.
And she keeps my hair out of my face.
Yeah, and that is often her job.
I need
That is. I'm like, oh, let me fix the hair.
you.
Oh, you're...
Very necessary.
Yes.
So if you go through our Instagram, you're going to find quite a few photos of Rikki. She's been Jean Grey. She's been zombie Jean Grey.
Love zombie.
So Rikki has been working with us for about 2 years, basically since COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Rikki is also the lead actress for Dark Inheritance, my Lovecraftian horror sci-fi series, which we put on pause. Starting it at the beginning of COVID was probably a mistake, but we learned a lot, and I'm in the middle of editing, and we got some really good footage that I'm looking forward to extracting out of it.
It was so much fun. So much fun.
We also have her in a geisha-ish outfit for Dark Shadows.
Yeah, Dark Shadows. So
And don't forget the vampire one, because that was my favorite.
yeah. So actually,
sugar.
I think they've seen if people have only experienced us through our YouTube videos, then they've actually seen a couple of the vampire photos.
Oh, yeah.
I love them.
Because we did the ones of you and Lauren.
Yeah.
I may or may not have drank most of the blood. It's okay. It's fine.
It's a good thing it's edible.
All right. So in this particular shoot, the bonfire shoot, I don't really know where the inspiration was. I think I really wanted to take photos. Ultimately, my goal was to take photos of people in front of the fire so that I could get their outline. That was like my original inspiration. That was my pitch that I sold to everybody involved. And then because we didn't know what we were getting into, and I had in my head, I thought the bonfire would be bigger than it would be, and I didn't realize how hot
Oh, yeah.
Very hot.
bonfires
So
get.
warm.
Very hot.
Yeah, yeah.
It was a fire.
I mean, to be fair, we were playing with, our lights that don't get warm. And so we wanted to just replicate it, but with fire.
But with fire.
Fire!
Not thinking about the heat. Felt like a sunburn a few times there. It's nice.
Yeah.
Toasty.
So the theme was kind of a Celtic tribal kind of effect. Now, I actually took some of in my opinion, some of my best outdoors photos. It was golden hour. They just came out so great. And so if people, and you can navigate to the link through our show notes to see these photos, but we can, in the first photo, we see you standing. You're holding a staff with a
Deer's head.
The deer's head, deer's skull.
Yeah, skull. Sorry.
Yeah, it was
Looks
pretty
like a
cool.
4-point.
I don't know, but my brother
don't
was
know.
really proud of it.
Yeah, I think it's. Well, you count the number of points, right? So, I guess it's 8. It's 4 each.
4
one,
on each, so 8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the one on my back. The one on my back was
that
super
one.
heavy.
That one was amazing, though. It's just so
cool.
impressive. It's
Yeah.
just massive, and it just gives this like, I don't know.
And I don't know how I figured out how to wear it like that. I was trying to make it look like horns, but then I turned it the opposite way of the way it should be, and it just sat on my shoulder like,
Like a mantle.
yes. It was
Yeah.
awesome.
So she took this set of horns, and these horns are like 4 feet
Huge.
tip to tip, which means with the curve they're actually a lot longer than that, probably like 8 foot. If you could stretch them out, it'd be like 8 feet tip to tip. And she's wearing them behind her neck.
It was not comfortable. It was insanely uncomfortable, but it looked good.
And normally in photos, it's all about the model being comfortable. But in this particular case, just this one time.
Just this one time.
This one time.
They're always uncomfortable. That's the best shot.
And bare feet, there was what, 10 of us? How many of us were there?
There's a lot.
There was a lot of us. And I want to say, you were talking about like the golden hour. For how many of us there were, we all got great golden hour photos. So he was able to filter, okay, your turn, okay, your turn. It was pretty fantastic. So I lost my train of thought, but they were great.
Yeah,
I think there were 8 of us.
8?
yeah, 8 models
was
and
a
then a bunch of
lot.
helpers. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
The big thing is like when I cook, in my head I'm counting 1, 2, 3. I'm just counting all the time in my head, and I think it really helps when you have something like golden hour, which really it is really like golden hour. So you don't have an hour and a half, you don't have 2 hours. It's going to get dark real fast.
It did.
And that's fine if you're doing a photo shoot with one person, but if you want to make sure everybody can get some good photos, you kind of have to in your head be like, okay, let's kind of like let's keep it going. You don't want to rush them because if you rush them and the model's face will show it, but you want to rush them as soon as you've taken the good photos. Then you're like, yeah, okay,
I got yours. Move on.
Yeah, move on.
So with this, I had no idea what I wanted to do outfit wise. He said Celtic tribal, and I was like, I don't know, but I kind of want to be a warrior badass type thing. So the night before, I wanted to do like the warrior braids in my hair, and the night before I couldn't get the person I wanted to do it. So I go on I don't know. I don't know. I went on Facebook or something. I was like, hey, I need somebody who can do these braids. I messaged like 15 people. Didn't know them. This girl, she's like 17 finally. It's like, hey, I could do that. So I go over. She braids my hair. Takes a lot longer than I thought. Then I had to go do the makeup. And it was, you need a whole day. And a prepared day, I'm a procrastinator. I definitely procrastinated, but I like it. And I didn't know what to do with the outfit. And I was just like, all right, slap some body paint on. The dress that I'm wearing, it's actually the sleeve of a Renaissance outfit. So I just kind of pieced it all together and threw a cape on it and said, the horns make me look cool. So that was my focal point of, once it was some kind of tribal-y thing, I was like, horns, and then that works.
And the cape had a Celtic knot on it, so it really came together as seeming like it was appropriate, like it was meant to be on purpose.
It just worked out that way.
Do it really though, like when you look at this and you think, okay, could you have prepared more beforehand? Maybe, but also you couldn't have gotten your hair braided before.
Yeah.
Because how long are you going to be able to keep your hair in that braid?
No.
Yeah.
It got ruined that night.
So that's where like people are often like, oh man, like you should have done this like a week ago. And if we were doing this because we got licensed, like maybe like Adobe or a big.com had been like, hey, we're going to give you $15,000. We want you to fly to Scotland. We want you to do this shoot in front of a castle. Boom, 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 like all this stuff. Of course, I would ask you to braid your hair a month in advance
To see what it looks
to
like.
see what it looks like, and we would do all this stuff.
Yeah.
But in a scenario where nobody's getting paid, this is just purely for the love of the art.
I love the art.
Yeah, it doesn't make
looks
sense.
amazing.
Yeah, it doesn't
So
make sense
fun.
to do it ahead of time.
We were seriously painting my body as, everyone is out there getting ready. I'm like, oh, I still need some here. I need some here. That's how I am. But it looked so good. I loved it.
It looked amazing.
And speaking of, the model's always comfortable. I am never, ever barefoot. And walking around out there barefoot, I was like, I'm going to die.
Yeah, that was actually pretty impressive because it looks green, but to be fair, we're saying that too many times this episode, so I'm going to try to stop. But if you look at it, I have amplified the green. It's actually a yellowish green desert landscape, and I just tilted the foliage, the yellow green, to more green because it acts as better contrast versus the red hair and the red Celtic knot and all these things. So really, you're standing in the desert.
Yeah,
It is not a lush Irish
I don't
forest
know how you got
or
so
something.
much green. I mean, I know you altered it, but it was
Yeah.
it was dead.
There was
dead.
there was green there. I just pulled on every bit of green
Every
that I
ounce
could.
of it.
Yeah, and if you had green in your skin, then it would make you look green, but you don't have it. So the trees do have it. So that's kind of the thing there. Is you can paint fake green, but it won't look natural like this. This
Yeah.
is just pulling the green that was there out.
And amplifying it.
I really like this particular photo. So this is a landscape photo. I don't take a lot of landscape photos, and it crops off a lot. Most of the horns are cropped off and most of the skull, but I just think you have this look on your face and you can really see your eyes. And if I was gonna be frustrated with anything with your outfit, it was that the horns create this expanse, this room that you take up, this presence. And for me to show off the majesty of the horns means you're little tiny.
Yeah.
So what I really like about this particular image is just that you can really see your face. You can see that it's almost better that the horns extend past the photo because they're so big and there's so much going on there.
It's majestic to me. It's
Yeah.
very it is neat that you don't have the full capacity of the horns because then you get to use your imagination as to how big it really is or, what the skull that I'm holding looks like.
Those horns will not fit inside your car, right?
They did, but they took up the entire trunk. I drive a Ford Edge, I don't know. And it's big, but it barely fit inside of the trunk.
You were saying, Kat?
Oh, I just liked how the horns had so much detail on it, and you can see it even in the small photo that's on my phone.
I know I keep zooming in. I purposely made sure that my makeup was not symmetrical because I cannot do symmetry. I want
And
it.
personally, I think it looks more interesting and more tribal that way.
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do love what you did to my eyes, though, because
You always love that.
Yes, I know. That's what I want my eyes to look like. So cool.
I mean, that's his thing, though, to
So
to
good.
just
Make your eyes
bring
pop.
the eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, your eyes would actually look like that in real life if somebody takes a flashlight and
Brighten it.
just shines
Don't
it.
tempt me to walk around with a flashlight. Hi.
You're like, what are you doing? Look into
Look at my
eyes.
eyes. Oh, geez. Yep.
So these photos, of course, were not the point of the photo shoot at all. This was us just taking advantage. You guys were ready. Some other people weren't ready. I don't think the bonfire was quite ready, and we were waiting for the sun to go down. So
Yeah, those were totally bonus. That's
yeah.
not what I thought we were doing. Oh, I love the cape in this one.
We can barely see the cape in the first 2 images, but in this one we made a point of we really wanted the cape to be flowing and out. What is this cape actually?
It's actually my Little Red Riding Hood cape.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's I got it a few years ago to be Little Red Riding Hood, and it just worked so well for other things.
It looks, I mean, it's so big.
It is. It is very big. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how big it was until this photo though, because in the other ones it's like, crinkled together.
Yeah.
But that one is just very. I already said majestic, but it's like I'm a warrior queen. I don't know. I love it.
You're ready to like lead people in the battle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does that make you better than Xena because you're the queen?
She would kick my butt. I would just lay down like a puppy. Here's my belly. I was really unhappy with the clothes, not the cape, not the horns, not the makeup. I loved all of that, but what I decided to wear, it was kind of my last ditch effort. Everything I tried wasn't working. Nothing was coming together. And the day of, I just put that on and was like, fine, whatever. I'm done caring. It's going to be a dark shoot. You're not going to see it. And my outfit doesn't really matter. But afterwards, I was like, I actually really like it. It's cut weird, so it looks not normal, but it looks authentic. That it's just this piece of cloth or animal skin that I found and put on. So I'm actually happy with it after.
And it also goes with your not symmetry thing.
Yeah, that's true.
So I mean,
what I kind of like about it is that, like, in general, you show the least amount of skin in our models,
Yeah.
but it's very suggestive, and I think that I'm speaking for the fans and the people who click like on things, but I'm going to say that the majority, like, you are one of the most well-loved models that we work with, and I think that it fits kind of like your brand of being sexual without showing.
Yeah,
A lot.
I do love that. I want, everyone, if you're doing something, you want to be sexy. You want people to think that you're sexy. But I don't want to be like, hey, here's my nipples and here's my butt, because everyone has better nipples and better butts. So if I make you think that these are some great nipples, but you don't get to see them, I like it.
oh my gosh.
So true.
Oh.
But I do like that. I like being sexy without being like, okay, you can put your clothes back on. Not that I have a problem with it. I love seeing the girls without their clothes on. But, I just...
No, but apparently it works for you because, like I said, like, I think that if I were to, like, rate the likes on photos, I think it's probably the other Rikki, and then it's you. Maybe they just like the name.
Hey, Rikki has a pretty good name. I definitely like it.
Yeah, I think that it's working for you. I think you look fantastic. What did you do to make the makeup? Like, what is that makeup?
So the makeup is actually, there's a place here, Star Costumes.
Yeah.
That's where I go for all their stuff. It's just this big brick of black and red that I got wet. I don't know what it's called. Sorry. But I got it wet and then I just painted it on my body. So it's some kind of costume makeup. I always do things weird.
All right. Yeah.
Some of the red is actually lipstick because I couldn't get the other red to be as vibrant as I wanted it to be. So.
And I think, I feel like that's the actual art, because I think a lot of times people feel like they need to use particular things. Like in your case, you went to the local costume store. Anybody can go to the local costume store. Most cities probably have a local costume store. Actually, Stars is actually pretty decent. Because
makeup wise, I love it. I love
I
their
mean,
makeup.
have a
sometimes
really
you
nice
can
makeup
go to
area.
like a party city or something.
Yeah.
They have.
So you can go to these places and you can, pick up makeup. And in this case, like black and red, it could be black and orange or, whatever, it could be blue, whatever. And then you go out there and you're trying to make the look you want. And again, it's not about creating reality. You don't have to, like, you couldn't be in a party with this outfit. It just wouldn't work.
The horns, especially.
The horns, right? So this is about creating an image that's going to be in digital format or in video format. And when you're messing with the black and you're like, oh, this black looks perfect. I think the black looks great. Like, there's a look to it that's heavy. That's the thing, is like it looks solid. The black is solid.
I wanted it dark. I didn't want it to look worn. Like, I guess it could have been, but I wanted it to be just dark.
Yeah,
makeup.
it looks like you took a permanent marker. Like,
It does. Yeah, it does.
yeah, it's great. But then when you decide that you want a particular vibrancy out of the other colors and it doesn't work and you're just like, yeah, I'm just going to use lipstick. Yeah, it doesn't matter. As long as it's like, people go too far with that, and then next thing they're like in the hospital because they use something poisonous. But as long as it's meant for your skin, you can use anything you want.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
If it's eyeshadow, use it on
works,
your
it
arms,
works.
whatever. If it works, it works. That's it.
Yeah.
So, if you've made it this far into the podcast, I have rewarded you. Or I rewarded Min with this image of Kayla, who was on a podcast 2 episodes ago, and is a partner with Ignis Umbra, and Rikki, almost kissing. So Kayla is a wood nymph, all in white, kind of like leather and tribal paint with horns, she's like a fawn or something.
And the fur on the butt.
Yeah.
I loved that.
It's so cute.
I loved her outfit. Honestly, like, I'm always for the dark colors, except as soon as I saw her do that, I was always white. Even the vampire shoot after, I was like, no, I want white. She looked so good.
Yeah.
So good.
There is something about an all white outfit that if you pull it off is very striking. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Especially, I think, with, the fact that we took these photos in the dark.
Yeah. And I love the black and white yin yang thing. Really loved it. And for not showing a lot of skin, that is all booty. My booty is out.
Yeah, like I said, this is you do show the most skin here that I think you've shown
Than I've ever.
that you've ever.
Yeah, that's true.
But I mean, no more than you would show in a swimsuit or something.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's always something about like when you do these kind of things and you're just like in a swimsuit hanging out, people are just like, oh, it's just a swimsuit. But then when you wear non-swimsuit clothes, people are like, oh man, you're showing so much skin. It's like, actually you're showing less skin.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. I am more covered than if I were in a bikini.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
But it's more suggestive.
I loved this. I gotta say, I secretly wanted this to happen before it even got there. When her and I started taking pictures, I was like, yeah, that could look really, really good. Plus, I'm sure you've seen her. She's beautiful. And when we started getting closer, and then it was nice.
Yeah.
I really liked it.
So
It's a great picture.
If you're listening and you haven't gone to the show notes and looked at the images, this is just an image of Rikki and Kayla looking as if they're about to kiss. And it just kind of happened. These things happen. Two things happen in my photo shoots. Girls go to kiss each other, and Leiden gets naked. That's the 2 rules of my photo shoots.
Leiden.
That is very true.
It is true.
Leiden gets naked and girls kiss.
It's fun. Girls always want to kiss each other.
That's true. Kissing is fun.
Yeah. Or we want to make it look like we're kissing because it's just hot.
We just love being suggestive.
That's very true.
It's like, you could have this, or maybe this.
And this wasn't intentional, but the black tribal paint on your body and the white tribal paint on her body, it just worked so well.
Yeah.
It did.
Yeah, it really popped.
It
We
was
could have
like-
done a whole photo shoot, just the 2 of you with your contrasts.
It was a happy
could've.
accident.
It was so fun. I do love it. I say the vampire shoot was my favorite, but this one was awesome because you got so many different things in it. Like, we did the group pictures, we did our solo golden hour pictures, we did the fire picture. It was like the never ending
Yeah.
photo. We just kept getting different shoots. It was really neat.
Yeah. So, we'll move head. Okay. I mean, each one just looks a little bit more suggestive than the last.
Yes, it does.
So in this image,
Full side nude.
you're full side nude. You're really popping that hip.
That was, I wanted that hip to show because obviously that was where all my war paint was.
Yeah. All the red war paint.
All the red, yes.
Because at this point, I don't think you can barely even see the red in most of the other photos. But here, it really stands out. It's really driven.
Do I still have the cape on? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, the cape, for being so big and majestic, it
Disappeared.
vanishes most of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And red in the dark looks black.
Yeah, that makes
generally.
sense.
So with the red that's visible where the sun, where the firelight is like, lighting up your skin, you can tell that's red. But anywhere that the firelight kind of isn't illuminating, it just turns black. And so your cape just kind of vanishes. And that's okay because you're kind of leaning on the staff a little bit. You've got your hand, like you're caressing the upper horns in kind of a suggestive way. And I think I just feel like you look very wild here.
Yes. So I had no idea what to do. At this point in the shoot, we have 15 people looking
Yeah.
at us because we have the helpers, we have the other models. There's 5 people I don't even know. We just met that day, and I'm like naked. I mean, the back didn't cover much. Wasn't it just the cape?
Yeah, it was just the
Yeah,
cape.
so my back is completely open, and there's people around. And I at this point, I'm very new to modeling, and I had no idea what to do. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna fire. I'm playing with some dead animal horns. I'm just gonna go for it and just see what I can get. So wild is a pretty accurate description because I was just like, let's see what I can make happen here. It's either gonna look great or it's not.
So do you feel like if we had done the photo shoot, say just you, Kat, me, your family or whatever, your helpers, to help things. Do you feel like with all the other models that there's more pressure to come up with an amazing pose?
Yeah, of course. I always want Kayla to go first because I steal her moves. But I mean, you have, all these people who some who really know what they're doing, some who are new like me, but just trying to figure out what to do. And I'm like, okay, I don't want to go first. I want to see what she's going to do. I don't like that. Oh, so I'm not going to do that. Oh, if she would have done that with that would have been better. So I like watching, but I do feel like everyone's like, ooh, she did really good. So how am I going to do that good or better? Or well, that girl just kind of sat there. So I could do better than that. If I can do better than that, then I'm okay.
So in this particular shoot, I was the only photographer. I often allow a second shooter.
Pew pew.
I actually think that part of what made this shoot so good was everybody else watching. Because when you have 2 photographers or more, people get bored and they wander off to find the other photographer because they don't want to wait. But I think now that you've verbalized it, I'm actually going to internalize that just a little bit and kind of think in my head, even if I allow another photographer to join, I may alternate. I may say, you know what? We're not going to try to do the photos at the same time. We're just going to alternate.
Yeah.
I'm going to let the other person take photos for an hour, and then I'll take photos for an hour, whatever. Because I think you hit on something that's really special, is this watching everybody and seeing what worked, what didn't work. Because the reality is we're unlikely to be able to put a bonfire together very often, especially in modern, longest drought in 1,200 years, and it's a $10,000 fine if you set up a bonfire in Clark County, and it's hard to. It used to be you could get a permit. Now it's, I guess, difficult or impossible. All of this stuff. So
We need private land.
so there's not a lot of opportunity to practice, so that you can just be like, yeah, I've done this 5 times before. No, this is going to be a lot of, and that applies to a lot of photos. Like we could go to a waterfall where you have to hike 2 hours. Well, you're not going to do that
Every day.
every day.
Yeah.
So I think it's worth watching the other models and learning and making sure that the models have 2 or 3 passes, so that if you feel disappointed, like, oh man, you should have done this pose with the second pass,
Yeah.
you can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do love that. Like with all the shoots that we've done with multiple people, you know, I try to make Kayla go first, and then I'll go, and then Rikki would go, or just Kat would go, and I'm like, okay, all right. Oh, I wish I'd have done that. And then I get to do it. So I do think that everyone is selfish and we all want all our pictures, right? But I feel like it's better having more people there because you get to feed off of each other instead of it just being whatever you can come up with. I'm not the most creative person, so I definitely feed off other people and steal what they're doing and then alter it. And I feel like that's just the way creativity flows for me.
So the second to last image, I picked this image because most of the other images, you can't actually see the fire reflected off your skin. And I feel like you mentioned earlier, like kind of feeling like sunburned.
Yeah.
I feel like around this time when they were really stoking the fire to try to like get it up, one, I was able to get some really clear photos, because that's something people might not realize, is that
The challenges of shooting in the dark.
yeah, there's a lot of difficulties for the photographer when you're shooting in the dark. And actually our next episode is going to be entirely for photographers, and maybe to a certain extent models, to explain how do you take good photos in the dark. But so here we really got the fire kind of stoked, and it creates these interesting shadows and lights across your skin, and you leaning in the middle of your Skeletor staff. It's the deer head staff. She's kind of like between. And she's still like hip hop now, this time to the right instead of to the left, and kind of like lounging into the staff kind of a little bit.
I played off the staff a lot. It took my weight often.
I think if a woman has a staff, she should play with it, because it's gonna do good things for the photos.
Is that what he said?
I do think that's
I
what
literally
he
just said that. Yeah.
Yeah. So for this one, I had kept the staff, you know, in front of me and tried to be like a strong pose for the most part with it. But with this one, I wanted it to be more intimate. So I you know, drew it in so that my face was more of a focal point instead of this thing I'm holding. It's more about me. And so I do like that it's, I don't know, that.
So the photography technique here, that they call it framing. So you take anything that's within range of the camera and you put it around the subject, so that the eye sees the edge of the photo, and then the second edge. In this case, the horns are like a second edge that kind of like focuses the eye. So your whole body's there. The staff is like a little tiny like stick, effectively.
Yeah.
But you basically can't see the rest of your body because your eye just gets sucked right up to your face.
Right to the horns. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do like that a lot.
Yeah, it's a good technique. We use it a lot for like Wolverine claws.
Oh yeah, and the Freddy claws.
The Freddy claws. Yeah, we're always trying to like
Frame the eye.
if there's two stone statues or something like that, you try to like frame that so that they're left and right. And if you are taking a photo in front of like a store glass window, sometimes you'll get the frame of the glass window, and it'll look like there's a window, like a photo frame, and then like the window frame around the model. So it's like 2 or 3 people, two or three frames.
Frames.
Yeah.
Frame and a frame.
Yeah.
I do. I like that a lot.
And then just moving along. So we're going to be talking about some more in the bonus cast and the Patreon. But I wanted to get to this image because this is there's two images that I really kind of wanted with the bonfire and everything. One was where the model is in front of the fire, but in this case, this is the other image that I really wanted, which is you can see the sparks, you can see the actual fire, and I just think it looks very dramatic and cool.
Mm-hmm. And it was not super easy to get those sparks. They were hitting the fire, trying to make it pop. But yeah, it is really neat. And it's, again, just the height of those horns.
It's very impressive.
It's awesome. Awesome. And I like the fire, going up into my body. It's really cool.
That's what she said.
That's what she said. For the most part, on when you're modeling, you don't know what to do with your hands because you're standing. What are you doing? With these horns, it was like, oh, I have something to do. Let me just play with my horn here. I'll play with my horn here. Just playing with all the horns. So that was fun.
Yeah, came out great. I really like this shoot. I'm actually probably gonna have each person from the shoot come in on an episode. We won't do it all at once, so we're not gonna be talking about bonfires for 10 episodes straight or something. But I really like this shoot. I really think that I don't think many photographers can expect more than to give a couple words and say, hey, I want to do this. And you guys just all came together and you were all helping each other apply the makeup and it just
work on the
this
outfits.
This was a great shoot in every possible way. I've often been disappointed in myself or something doesn't quite work out. But in this case, actually, I really liked everything.
Yeah, there were so many great photos out of this.
It was such a fun shoot.
Yeah. So at this point, we're going to end this review of the shoot. And then we'll end it here. Thank you, everyone. We're going to move over to the bonus cast. So if you back our Patreon, then you can join us in that conversation where we actually get a little bit more into, we name names and kind of like just talk about our experience and what we were feeling, and a little bit less technical and a little bit more just like, here's some insight into the going-ons behind these shoots. Some drama, but not too much, but maybe a little bit.
Thank you guys for listening, and I hope you have a great day.
Bye, guys.
Bye.